1 in 4 American adults have a disability, and I'm one of them. I'm Lachi. I'm a recording artist and disability culture advocate, and I'm here to introduce you to Disabled Renegades.
I face each day as a renegade.
Judy Lynn del Rey is one of the unsung heroes of modern fantasy publishing. She was both a genius at marketing and also had a really fine, keen editorial eye.
Somebody brought her this idea of a book based on this movie that was going to come out by George Lucas. She could tell that this was going to be big.
That novelization of Star Wars sold 4.5 million copies in less than 5 months.
Aloha. This is Senator Dan Inouye reporting to you from Washington.
He always defined himself as equal to.
To be able to get elected to office in local government, get elected to office in the U.S. government, rise up in stature in the Senate to the point that he is the president pro tem, which is third in line to the president. Only in America is that possible.
God has given me a rare gift that I'm here to share with you.
One of my earliest memories is just like of the comfort of her mouth on me.
The Department of Public Welfare declared me unfit to be a mother because of my disability, but they failed to realize my mental capacity.
I am the representation of a war that was won. The court system, they never thought that I would be a success because of her, but it's because of her that I am.
Thomas Wiggins was one of the major musical figures of the 19th century. A child prodigy, he wrote his first composition at the age of 5, but he was black, blind, and enslaved. Otherwise, he might be considered like Mozart.
What we want to do is look at him in a larger context, like he was a very important person on a continuum of early American pianists that eventually led to the creation of jazz, rock and roll, and rhythm and blues.
Brad Lomax was dedicated to the work and not the limelight.
We saw the barriers and obstacles people had to deal with, whether it's in the hospital, in an apartment, or just going down the sidewalk.
Black Panthers came every day and fed us every day for the whole sit-in, and that's really, quite frankly, how we survived. We wouldn't have survived without food from them.
What is Brad Lomax's legacy?
He was the beginning of disability justice, intersecting Blackness with disability. He was already there, and all of the people that are working on it now, we're all his children, continuing that work.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Renegades, streaming right now on PBS as well as the American Masters YouTube channel, PBS app. It's everywhere. Go check it out because we are celebrating National Disability Awareness Month. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things Renegades are two amazing producers. I have Charlotte Mangin as well as Amanda Upson. Thank you both so much for your time. I appreciate it. And thank you to the interpreter who's helping us out as well today, because I love this, because we need to recognize our disabled community. And I love that we're doing it over on PBS right now. So thank you, everyone. To kick us off, if I can start with you, Amanda, what was your why for doing Renegades?
I think this is, first off, thanks for the opportunity to talk to you and your audience. Renegades is critical because we do not have disability representation on screen. And when we rarely see it, it's often not authentic representation, and it is really needed. And also our history hasn't been captured. We're way behind with that. And this was essential. This was essential to tell the stories of these people who really impacted American history. Everybody should know these stories.
Definitely agree. I love that. Thank you for your answer. And as a Filipino American, I know you're involved with another documentary called The Long March. And I just want to give you a shout out for that. I love Tammy Botkin. Thank you. Charlotte, what is your why? Thank you.
Tammy was actually the director of our Daniel K. Inouye episode for
hello,
the series.
Tammy. Shout out to you, Tammy.
Yes. I've been a documentary filmmaker for 25 years, and I had never before worked on stories about the disability community or with disabled filmmakers. So for me, it was an opportunity to run what ended up becoming an incubator for mid-career disabled filmmakers and bring them into the PBS pipeline. And I found that so rewarding to be able to share my knowledge and experience of how to produce for PBS with this community.
I love it. Amazing. As a filmmaker myself, my whole goal is to entertain as well as educate and inspire. And you are doing all these things, the both of you, with this series. So thank you for that. Putting that producer hat on, what was it like getting everything together for this and kind of maybe selecting the story that you wanted to go with for your particular pieces in this, and hopefully a season 2, which I would love to see, and going down the line. If I could go back to you, Amanda.
Sure. Although I forgot the question. What putting on my producer hat, what was it like to produce this? I mean, I think it was like producing anything else. For these stories in particular, we had an incredibly talented team, which, the disability community, we have Forward Doc, which has over 1,200 disabled and ally members. And it's not hard finding talented disabled filmmakers. And in terms of finding the stories and identifying them, there's so many, it's really hard. It is hard to choose. I think the hardest thing about this is when we actually started getting into the stories, digging for archives and information is really difficult because a lot of the history is residing within individuals or outside of traditional mainstream media. But otherwise, it was like producing any other documentary project or film project.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. And for you, Charlotte, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, if I could add, we worked with a group of advisors who are historians of disability culture, who helped us narrow down, because we have a spreadsheet with scores and scores and scores of stories waiting for future seasons. And they really helped us narrow down who the profiles should be about, ensuring that we had a variety of disabilities, geographies, and racial ethnic background and professions represented in this first season.
Amazing. Keeping that producer hat on, I love that there's both people that are disabled as well. We're in front of the camera that we're talking about and shedding light on, but also behind the camera. Was there additional elements that were implemented to help facilitate that and also foster future growth behind and in front of the camera? If I could go back to Amanda.
Sure. I think because we're majority disabled led production and we're working on disabled stories, accessibility is inherent from the beginning. And so it wasn't an afterthought, which meant that from the initial point of talking with our filmmakers that were coming on to do these series, it was accessible. And we are constantly checking in to make sure it was accessible both for the filmmakers and for the experts who are on screen, and then in distribution and exhibition for audiences that will come participate in screenings in person, and for audiences who will watch it via YouTube or via the PBS app. We have 3 different versions for each episode. We have ASL, an open caption version. We have an extended audio description and large captions. And then we have the unenhanced version, which has captions that you can toggle on and off. Charlotte, please rehabilitate what I said and whatever I forgot to say.
No, that was perfect. I agree with you. Accommodations were part and parcel of the project from A to Z. I was really struck, having attended one of the shoots. In my 25-year career, I had never before been in a room where on set, the first question that the director asked the crew and the cast was, does anyone here today have a disability or accommodations that they need us all to be aware of? And I just thought that was such a beautiful moment of vulnerability and of acknowledgement of people's needs, and certainly something I'm going to bring with me to the rest of my projects.
I love that. Absolutely amazing. I want to personally thank you on behalf of my family and friends that work in the industry, and just for future generations, everybody else out there that is watching this and are appreciating this as much as I am as well. To close this out, if I could go back to you, Amanda, what do you hope people leave with after watching Renegades?
I hope that people remain curious, and that, you know, if they start watching an episode, they watch all of them. It would be great if they watch the ones with accessibility. They might not be used to seeing an ASL interpreter on screen. They might not be used to knowing what audio description means, what that adds to a film, because a lot of times this is creative filmmaking. It does add to the story. And then going out and looking for other projects by disabled filmmakers, and you know, engaging with us as audience, and, you know, signing up for a newsletter and subscribing and finding us on Instagram so that we can get that support we need to have a season 2.
Definitely. And for you, Charlotte?
I would say a reminder that more than 1 in 4 American adults have a disability, and it's in fact the one identity that any of us can become at any time due to aging, an accident, you know, and so just really realizing that even though disability often gets left out of the story, it's part and parcel of our country's landscape.
Definitely. I want to thank you both again so much for this wonderful film series. I know it's a bunch of shorts as well. Available everywhere, y'all, on PBS, YouTube, American Masters. Fingers crossed for season 2. I love it. I want more. And also, Charlotte, I'm a fan of Unladylike as well. I love what you're doing. So thank you both. Everyone, Charlotte Mangin, Amanda Upson, Renegades, streaming right now on PBS as well as the YouTube. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Thank you, guys.
When you have one question left.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you, interpreter. It is a pleasure to chat with you all.
Thank you for having us.
Definitely.
Love the background.
Definitely. Thank you, Charlotte. I'm going to count us in to help me with my edit because I'm putting the trailer right in front of this.
Nice.
All right. So here we go in a 1, 2, 3.